Hey everyone, Timola here from foxreviews.info and welcome to this week's edition of the review. I hope you're all well and that you had a great trading week last week. Okay, well in a few moments, what I'll be doing is highlighting a number of important trading areas in the market. However, before I get into this week's review, I first would like to answer why I didn't do the review the previous week. This was because I unfortunately got the flu a little bit before the previous weekend, and it affected my voice, which unfortunately meant that I couldn't do the review. It was one of those situations. I very rarely get sick, ever, but unfortunately the flu got me this time. Anyway, I'm feeling much better now, so let's get into this week's edition of the review and see what's happening on the charts this week. This review is for October, the 1st to the 5th of October. Anyway, let's get into this week's edition of the review. Okay, the first pair to highlight is EURUSD, and I'm on the daily chart. Last week, EURUSD tested the 117.32 zone area, which is a potential bearish evidence area, and that previous major high area on this market. And as you can see, when price action came into the zone, price action was a little bit sideways for a while before the bears took control, pushing price to the downside. So overall, EURUSD was a great performer for all those people that took a sell trade from the 117.32 zone area. And what I'd like to hold in this market this week is a potential long-term target area to the downside for all those people that are holding a sell trade on this market from the 117.32 zone area. And that is the 115.50 zone area. This is a great long-term target area to the downside, a great potential long-term target area to the downside. And it's also an area to the downside where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if I see a right bullish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way up, all the way back up to the 117.32 zone area to the upside. So overall on EURUSD, holding the 115.50 zone area as a great potential long-term target area to the downside for all those people holding a sell trade on this market from the 117.32 zone area. And also on the 115.50 zone area as not only a great target area, but also an area to the downside where I'm just looking for bullish evidence and a potential with the upside from this important area. Okay, well that's that market. The next pair I'd like to cover is US dollar Swiss, and I'm on the daily chart. The zone I'd like to hold in this market this week is the 98.30 zone area where price is getting quite close to testing. This is a great target area to the upside for all those people holding a buy trade on this market from the recent test of the 96.67 zone area. And it's also an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area. And if I see a right bearish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way down to this previous high area, looking left as a potential management point area to the downside, or potentially looking for a move all the way down, all the way back down to the 96.67 zone area to the downside. So overall on US dollar Swiss, on the 98.30 zone area as a potential target area to the upside for all those people holding a buy trade on this market. And also on the 98.30 zone area as an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence and a potential with the downside from this important area. Okay, well that's that market. Okay, next pair to cover is GBUSD, and I'm on the daily chart. On GBUSD, what I'd like to highlight is where price action is testing right now, which is the 130.55 zone area. This is this previous low area, looking left, and this high. And it's an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area this week. And if I see a right bullish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way up, all the way back up to the 132.86 zone area to the upside. So overall on GBUSD, holding that where price action is testing right now, which is the 130.55 zone area, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence and a potential move the upside from this important area. Okay, well that's that market. And before I go on to the next pair, I thought I'd take a quick moment just to mention that while I'm holding this important zone on the daily chart, such as on GBUSD, the 130.55 zone area, that a trader doesn't necessarily have to trade this area on the daily chart. A trader can be looking for aligning evidence and a potential opportunity on the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, or even lower time frames in these areas. And a common question I get asked at the website and also on the channel is, what is the main time frame that I trade important zones? And that's a good question. I often trade important zones on the 4 hour and the 1 hour time frame. So I look for aligning evidence and a potential opportunity in these daily areas on the 4 hour and the 1 hour time frame. Okay, well, that's it for this market. Let's go on to the next pair. The next pair I'd like to cover in this week's review is AUD, and I'm on the daily chart. The zone I'd like to highlight on AUD this week is the 71-76 zone area, which is this previous low area, looking left. This is an area that if price action tests this area this week, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence. And if I see a right bullish evidence in this area, so it's an if-then process, then potentially looking for a move all the way up to this previous high area, looking left, as a potential management point area to the upside, or potentially looking for a move all the way up, all the way back up to the 73-34 zone area to the upside, which is this previous low area and high area, looking left. Overall on AUD, holding that if price tests the 71-76 zone area this week, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area and a potential with the upside from this important zone. Okay, well, that's it for that market. The next pair I'd like to cover in this week's review is New Zealand USD, and I'm on the 4 hour chart. Recently, New Zealand USD tested the 66.94 zone area, retested this area where the bears took control, pushing price to the downside. Pushing price all the way down to that previous high area, which is a management point area. Potentially this market may continue all the way down long term for all those people holding a sell trade on this market, all the way down to the 65 zone area. So I'd like to highlight the 65 zone area as a potential long-term target area to the downside for all those people holding a sell trade from the 66.94 zone area. And also wanting to highlight the 65 zone area as not only a great potential long-term target area to the downside for all those people holding a sell trade from the 66.94 zone area, but also wanting to highlight this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if I see right bullish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way up to this previous high area, looking left as a potential management point area to the upside, or potentially looking for a move all the way up to the 66.94 zone area to the upside. Now, if the market does happen to support at this previous high area, this management point high area on this market, and pull back and retest the 66.94 zone area again this week, what I'd like to highlight is that this is once again an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence. And if I see right bearish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way down to this previous high area, looking left as a potential management point area to the downside, or potentially looking for a move all the way down long term to the 65 zone area to the downside. Okay, well, that's it for New Zealand USD. The next pair I'd like to cover in this week's review is US CAD, and I'm on the 4 hour chart. What I'd like to highlight on US CAD this week is a potential long-term target area to the downside for all those people holding a sell trade on this market from the recent test of the 130.41 zone area, and that is the 128.95 zone area. Price is very close to testing this area. This is a potential long-term target area to the downside for all those people holding a sell trade from the 130.41 zone area. And it's also an area to the downside where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if I see a right bullish evidence in this area, like I go over in the Forex training on the website, then potentially looking for a move all the way back up to the 130.41 zone area to the upside. So overall on US CAD, holding the 128.95 zone area as a potential long-term target area to the downside for all these people holding a sell trade from the recent test of the 130.41 zone area, and also holding the 128.95 zone area as an area on this market where we're looking for bullish events and a potential with the upside from this important area. Okay, well that's it for that market. The next market I'd like to cover in this week's review is silver, and I'm on the daily chart. On silver this week, what I'd like to highlight is a potential pullback area, and that is the 1480 zone area, which is this previous high area looking left back here. This is an area that if price action tests this area this week, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area. And if you see right bearish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way down to this recent low area looking left as a potential management point area to the downside, or potentially looking for a move all the way down to the 1370 zone area to the downside. So overall on silver, holding the 1480 zone area as an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence and a potential with the downside from this important area. Potentially move all the way down to this recent low area, or all the way down to the 1370 zone area to the downside. Okay, well that's it for that market. Okay, the next market to highlight is gold, and I'm on the 4-hour chart. On gold this week, as an update, what I'd like to highlight is a potential long-term target area to the downside. Recently, this market pulled back and is currently retesting this low area, where I'm expecting the bears may potentially push price down to retest this low and then potentially all the way down to the 1168 zone area, which is the area I'd like to mention as a long-term target area to the downside. Once again on this market, for all those people who are holding a sell trade from the test of the 1211 zone area back here. And also want to highlight the 1168 zone area as not only a potential long-term target area to the downside, however, also want to mention that this is an area to the downside where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if I see a right bullish evidence in this area, like I go over in the Forex training on the website, then potentially looking for a move all the way up to this low area as a potential management point area to the upside, or potentially looking for a move all the way up, all the way back up to the 1211 zone area to the upside. Now, I also would like to mention that if this market breaks above this low area, so if price moves a little bit higher and breaks back above this low area, and then moves all the way back up, price moves all the way back up and retests the 1211 zone area, that this is once again an area on this market on a retest of this important zone where I'm looking for bearish evidence. And if you see right bearish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way down to this low area as a management point area to the downside, or potentially looking for a move all the way down to the 1168 zone area to the downside. Okay, well that's it for gold. Okay, the next pair I'd like to cover is Euro New Zealand, and I'm on the daily chart. On Euro New Zealand, what I'd like to highlight is a potential pullback area, which is the 174.18 zone area, which is this previous high area looking left back here. This is an area that if price action tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if you see right bullish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way up to this recent high as a potential management point area to the upside, or potentially looking for a move all the way up to the 177.95 zone area to the upside. So overall on Euro New Zealand, holding the 174.18 zone area as an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence and a potential with the upside from this important area. And I also would like to mention that at the moment, Euro New Zealand is in an uptrend, and the 174.18 zone area is a great area in the trend to look for potential continuation to the upside. Okay, well that's it for that market. Okay, next pair to cover is GP Swiss, and I'm on the daily chart. On GP Swiss this week, we'd like to highlight is the 128.70 zone area. This is a great target area to the upside for all those people holding a buy trade on this market from the recent test of the 125.33 zone area. And it's also an area to the upside where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area. And if I see a right bearish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way down to this previous high area, looking left, as a potential management point area to the downside, or potentially looking for a move all the way down, all the way back down to the 125.33 zone area to the downside. So overall on GP Swiss, on the 128.70 zone area, which is that previous low area, looking left back here, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area and a potential move to the downside from this important zone. And also on the 128.70 zone area as a great target area to the upside for all those people that are holding a buy trade on this market as well. Okay, well that's it for me for this week's edition of the review. Thanks for watching. If you appreciate this video today, please do not forget to click that like button to show your support. Every like is appreciated, and it's a great way of letting me know you want more videos like this on a regular basis. If you have a comment below this video. Also, if you haven't checked out the Forex training on the website, such as the Engulfing Trader, the 5-day training series, or the Counseling training series just yet, well, you can find out all about this Forex training by clicking on the links below this video. Okay, well, I hope you all have a great trading week and happy trading.